I'm rumbling my tumbly. Time for something sweet. I am short, fat, proud of that, and so with all my might, I up, down to my appetite's delight. While I up, down, touch the ground, I think of things to chew, like honey and milk and chocolate. With a hefty, happy appetite, I'm a hefty, happy poo.
With a hefty, happy appetite, he's a hefty, happy poo.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Welcome to the show. You're a one-on-one with Wes the Sports Guy here on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble, and also online all the time at westhesportsguy.com. You can get all the links to those channels at westhesportsguy.com. You can also get the preview of the NBA season coming up at westhesportsguy.com exclusively there. Reason being exclusively is because I'm not going to spend some time doing videos talking about the NBA unless it gets closer to playoff time or it's actually playoff time because of the cushy relationship of the Communist Chinese Party, the government that is in charge of China, and the oodles of money that is embedded in the NBA as a whole. We saw it firsthand before last season and then going further into the season, and still is the case after that. That is why I'm not going to talk much about the NBA on the channel, but you will see the NBA season preview because I still like talking about sports on that website. Make sure you bookmark westhesportsguy.com. Getting right into it, it is time for my NFL Game of the Week.
You play to win the game. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
Now, you might already assume that the game of the week is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. I'm not going to go with what you expect to be the game of the week, what is already in your mind to be the game of the week, what is expected to be the return of Drew Brees at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. No. This week's game of the week is going in a different direction. It is still a game of playoff contenders, playoff teams that are vying for spots right now in the NFL playoffs come January and February, but I'm going a different direction. It is going to be a matchup between division rivals in the AFC East, the New England Patriots, going to Miami to play the Miami Dolphins. Reason why I have this as the game of the week is because you could be seeing the end, not really of an era, because I'm not saying the Patriots aren't going to be contenders anymore in the near future. Certainly they're going to, right the ship if it's not this year at some point, as long as they don't lose any more games. There's still that possibility. But next year, they certainly could flip the script and say, hey, we're back into it and we're going to vie with Buffalo for the division next year, and Miami as well, because you expect the Dolphins to make the playoffs the way they've been playing of late. They played competitively last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't win the game, but it was competitive nonetheless. New England's had some competitive games. They've had some bumps in the road along the way. They are still in a spot to possibly clinch a playoff spot right now with everything that's gone on this year, but they cannot lose any more games. They can't afford to lose any more games. Just watch what happened to the Raiders on Thursday. John Gruden was confused wearing the Oakland Raiders hat and had to flip it around at halftime to wear a Las Vegas Raiders hat. So there's that with the Raiders. They blew their opportunity, you could say, with the loss on Thursday to the fumbling LA Chargers and the way that franchise is going. But going back to the game of the week, the New England Patriots, they have to win this game. At all costs, they have to win it. The Miami Dolphins, you also need to win it to keep your spot alive for a playoff chance, a playoff appearance, if you would say, for the AFC. It's starting to, constrict itself right now. We're starting to see how the field's playing out. The once undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers have lost 2 in a row now. They've lost that number 1 seed. It's now to the Kansas City Chiefs right now if the playoffs were to start today. But the Dolphins, if you want to get to that next step that everybody's been expecting you to do after years of just rebuilds, free agency, spending sprees, and all that kind of stuff, it's now coming to a head. You have the opportunity to get in the playoffs, make some noise possibly. I don't consider you a contender right now, but you have a chance. And a huge part of that chance is with your head coach Brian Flores coming from the New England Patriots system is to knock out the New England Patriots. That would be something to see. So that's why I'm putting this as the game of the week. Not so much from the matchup perspective of who's going against who, can Cam Newton flip the script and have the game of his life, you could say, being as a Patriot quarterback. Can Tua Tagovailoa, can he have that signature game that just basically puts him on the map to say he is a good quarterback for the NFL in his career going forward with the Miami Dolphins, or the Dolphins going to use that one of two picks they're having in the first round at least to get a quarterback in this coming draft? Very interesting set of storylines, but basically the nut and bolts of it is, can the Patriots stay alive in a playoff hunt? Can the Dolphins actually knock them out and continue that march towards a playoff spot? This will be the matchup to see, in my opinion. If you like it, leave a like, leave a comment on this video, share it with your friends. You don't like it too? Hey, do that as well. It's fine with me. But this, in my opinion, is the game of the week. Patriots at Miami against the Dolphins. Time for my feel-good story of the week. And last week I went on about how Santa Claus is real. Absolutely. No shadow of a doubt. I proved it. I gave you some proof of that. Santa Claus is real. If you want to go back, you can check it out there on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, all those good places at westernsportsguy.com. But this week I'm going in the similar direction when it comes to spreading Christmas joy for all that want to hear. And one way of doing that I've seen in years past, and I'm sure it's still happening now, even with the craziness going on of this year, we don't have to go on and on about that, is paying off folks' layaway fees. Now, basically what that is, with layaway, you put a certain amount of money down, usually it's like $5 or $10, that you put down on a particular item that starts in July or August, depending on the retail place, that you eventually have to pay off in full to get that item that's guaranteed to you for Christmas, whatever it may be. And a lot of times, folks with different, financial circumstances, whatever the case may be, I'm sure it's become more apparent this year than ever, but there have been cases of this in years past where people have kind of waited till the very last minute to pay off those layaway fees as much as they possibly can. And unfortunately, it does happen where you can't pay the layaway. You can't finish it off. You can't get that item, whatever it is, for the person that you're getting it for. But there have been people along the way that have been in better off circumstances that paid off layaway fees. And it's either just for one random person, or they come in and they do it for many people, or in some cases, they pay off the entire store in their layaway fees. It's very heartwarming to hear. I encourage you, if you can do something like that, it doesn't have to be specifically for layaway fees. It can even be some minuscule amount of it too. If it's like maybe 10 or 15 bucks, something like that. If you are able to, I encourage you, just as an idea, to spread Christmas cheer this time of year as a way to, go about doing that. And of course, anonymous, all that good stuff. Retail stores are used to this. So that's just one suggestion. Another one that came across to me this week, and I'm going to show some proof of that here in some screenshots in the right-hand corner, or your right, my left-hand corner, is some charitable work going on this year, and specifically for small businesses. And small businesses are the backbone of America, without a shadow of a doubt. Unfortunately, the way things have gone this year, with many different circumstances at fault for it, over 1 million small businesses have shut their doors for good. Gone. Not coming back. And they could also be considered, franchises of major, fast food chains and stuff like that. The places that are mostly restaurants, bars, those are the small businesses of America, but it's the backbone of this country. Over 80% are small business. It's not the big boys. It's not, the haves and all those kinds of things. It's the small businesses that count. And they're struggling. There's a lot of them that are struggling. There's a lot of them that are still going the way things are this year, but they are just getting beaten down left and right. And it's not fair. So, as Americans, as just people, kind-hearted people, you don't even have to be in America. If you are willing and able to, I encourage you, there is a GoFundMe page. When I say this person's name, you're probably going to have differing opinions about the person, but it doesn't matter. He's doing something to help, and this GoFundMe, which is being shared by Glenn Beck, is helping small business owners. He does specify certain ones that he is definitely going to be helping. The goal on this GoFundMe was $50,000. It has raised well over $150,000 since it started a few days ago. I did donate some cash to this fund, If you can, it can even be just $1. That's perfectly fine. There's no judging here. You could be anonymous with the donation. You can, if you can, give as much as you can to this. This is going to the right people. And another one, say what you want about this guy as well, Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports. I myself am not a gigantic fan. I don't follow a lot of the stuff that they do. It's more of like the comedic thing, which is perfectly fine. They're doing their own thing. It's working for them. I have nothing against Dave. I have differing opinions about what he does and what he says on a daily basis. But what he is doing is he's also doing the same thing with small business owners. He is encouraging them to apply via an email address that I'm pointing here down below on the screen. I'll also leave a link in the description of this video that if you are a small business owner and you are struggling, you can email Dave. His only stipulation that he said in the Twitter video that he announced the Barstool Fund, hashtag Barstool Fund. The only thing stipulating with applying to this fund via Barstool Sports is that you have to still have your employees on payroll. You have to still be paying your employees. That's the only stipulation he has. You apply, goes through all the checks and everything, make sure you're on the up and up, and if that's the case, you get a large chunk of money, whatever you may need from Barstool Sports. So he's doing a charity fund. He's selling some t-shirts, some hoodies, clothing of that nature. He says 100% of those proceeds are going to this fund for relief for small business owners. And it's not just the Northeast. He even said in the video, it's not just the Northeast. It's anybody, everywhere in the country that's struggling right now. You can apply to get some relief from the Barstool Fund. So I'll leave a link to the description of that. I'll leave a link to the description of the GoFundMe Fund from Glenn Beck as well. So aside your differences, it's all about helping the small business owners. And I myself purchased a t-shirt from Barstool and I put in some money to the fund for GoFundMe as well. So please, I encourage you, if you can, even if it's just $1, if you aren't able to buy any of the clothing from Barstool, you can just share this video, leave a like, share the link to Barstool Sports, get the word out to help small business owners as much as we can. We cannot leave it up to the bureaucratic power structure that is in place right now. They are not looking out for you, and they're not looking out for the small business owner. We, as citizens, we will do that ourselves. No bureaucratic system needs part of this. So I salute you if you can. And if not, just share the video, share the links. Please get the word out as much as you possibly can. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell below to get notified when all the latest videos are posted on this channel via YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. All the links are there at what'sthesportsguide.com. I will have a special Christmas episode on Christmas Eve, so please, again, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when that video is posted on Christmas Eve, and I will see you then.